Hello everybody and welcome to Module 4. In this module there's a lab due, and one of the trickier aspects of the lab is setting your working directory in RStudio. So hopefully this video will clear things up for you. So everything I'm going to do is in the virtual lab environment or virtual machine. If you're doing this on your local machine, all your files will be local. So in week 1, you should have downloaded the necessary files to set up your lab environment, and you should have put them in a place you remember. So for me, that place was my document folder. So within my document folder, you can see the DAT510 data files, and I've also taken the time to download the DAT510 lab for documentation. So it says lab 4 because it's module 4, not necessarily because it's the 4th lab. But anyways, so let's open the documentation to the lab. And I'm going to scroll down to the section about setting your working directory. So most of these steps up here should have been done already in the first module. Okay, so here we get down to where you're opening the script. So let me just minimize that. Minimize this and open RStudio. So the first thing I'm going to do is open the module 4 lab script. So open file. So it takes me to my documents folder, and within that folder we have the DAT510 data files folder. Click on that. So this is module 4 lab. So click on that, open that folder. So within this folder, you can see the lab 101, lab 102 files. Those are CSV files, and those are going to be the data for your script in this lab. And also you can see the .r file, which is our script. So we're going to click on that to open it. And you can see up here, the Module 4 lab, you have your script window, your console window, and over here your environment window, and over here your files window. And as you go through some of the labs, as we get further into the course, there'll be plots that you can see as we run the scripts. But for now, let's just get back to this lab. So over here, well, the first thing, as you run this script, I'll just show you something really quickly. Yeah, code. So you can run portions. You don't have to run the entire lab all at once. You can run portions of it by highlighting the code you want to run. So in this case, we're just running a little ls command line here, and go to code, and you can see the keyboard shortcuts. So we're just going to run this selected line as an example. So you can see you run the ls, it gets a character 0. So what this is just really saying is there's currently nothing in your environment. So let's get back to setting your working directory, which is this line 8. And it can be a little confusing. So we're going to minimize R for now and go back to our folder where our data sets are. So Here's our Lab 101 and Lab 102 data sets. So what you need to do is go up to the menu bar here and right click and copy the address as text. And then bring this, go back to R, and right here where you're setting your working directory, paste. So right now you can see when I did that, it pasted the location of the directory for my data files. But what we need to do, and you can notice how the backslashes changed, or the forward slashes changed to a backslash. So what we need to do is to just go through and change these. From backslashes to forward slashes. And now I'm going to highlight the set working directory command, code, and we are going to run the selected line. So you can see down below the command ran okay, set working directory. We didn't get any error codes or anything like that, which is good. So next we're going to run the next two sets of lines, and hopefully what these two sets of lines are doing, so essentially you're just reading in from that directory, you're assigning tables called lab 1 and lab 2 based off of the text files that are in that directory. So we're just going to quickly do this and go to code, run the selected lines. So again, no errors down here. So with RStudio, if you're getting errors, it should show up as a bright red thing, and it will give you probably some cryptic error code. You'll find that typically ours can be pretty demanding with their error codes and not so user-friendly, but that's a story for another time. So I've created within my RStudio space here, I've created two tables, Lab 1 and Lab 2. So if we just go to this quickly, I'll show you. You can view. This just gives you quick little view of the data and some stats, how many observations were read in and how many variables. So if you noticed, I clicked on this little icon, and you can see the data is in a nice table for, this is lab 1, pops up really nicely. So I should mention this isn't part of the lab or anything. I'm just showing you some that the data was read in correctly. Now, from that point on, so within this session of RStudio, your two tables are all set. And from there, you should be able to run the rest of the lab without errors. So let's just make sure that works by looking at our heads and tails. This code. And our selected lines. And we can see down below in the console window that, that we get some output. So the tables are read in correctly. So from there, you'll just follow along with the script and follow along with the documentation, and you should be good to go. And of course, if there are any questions, please always just let me know. I'll do this and save it. So everybody have a good week, and I will see you on the discussion boards. Thanks.